Hello, friends, and good morning. Thank you for joining me today, Wednesday, July 19th, year 2016. How are you all doing at your various ends? Good morning here in Atlanta, Georgia. Good afternoon in Nigeria. Good afternoon in Europe. I'm thinking good evening in Australia. I'm not too sure. I have to ask Margaret the time difference between her and me. How are you all doing this good morning? The weather in Georgia now is not so, it's just like Nigeria, so it's not something I particularly kind of like or is enjoying again. It's getting too hot for me, especially with my skin issues. I can't stay in the sun for too long, so there's a lot of layering of sunscreen and so on going in my life right now. I'm so happy to be here again today. I thank Bossy, I thank Brother Funshaw, the retiree, a younger retiree. I call him the king of boys. Oh, sorry, the king of selfie. King of selfie. I thank you for being there. Kunle Akinkunde, how are you and good morning. Thank you all for being and for joining me. As always and as usual, my name is Doyisola Ajoke Adeilori. I'm always so glad to be with you people. What's funny, but that phone show? Why are you mocking me? What's funny? Why are you laughing? Why are you doing stuff with me? Are you? But see, how are you and how's everything? How's the job going? I hope you're doing good. This morning, I have a question for the men. And the question is going to be based on a story that I will tell. A couple of years ago, of course, there's this couple, they're older than me. Adioye Ayodele, how are you and how is everything today, sir? Thank you for joining me. There's this couple that they both were in service together with government. So at some point, I think they both decided or they understood the fact that they were not going to be able to get wealthy. Toyin Famurewa, hi and how are you, my dear? Thank you for joining. They were not going to be able to make wealth with working with government. They would always be on their salary and all whatever benefits that was accruable to them from that source. So they decided to, I think they reached an agreement that either of them should resign from service. And because the man, men are fragile. They don't want a situation that they would resign and then things won't work out and then they won't be able to meet with obligations in the home. So the wife decided, I think she understood that, and the wife decided to be the one to resign. And she went into the business sincerely and truthfully for the family. It wasn't like she went into the business for herself. It was supposed to be for the family, and the business she went into was for the family. Now here was what now happened. Of course, when she went into the business, to the glory of God, like we say back home and every time, when we're successful and things like that, well, she hit it good in business and she started to make good money. I won't say she started, maybe I'm phrasing it wrongly. It wasn't like she started making the good money. The family now had better financial status because don't forget that I said she went into the business for the family. To cut the story short, before then, she probably didn't even have enough money. So she needed to always have to ask the man for this and for that, which she was happy to do. But at the point that she now had, she was managing the business and millions and so on were rolling in. So she felt she didn't need to ask the man for anything again. Because she felt, if I have, like in a week, we're probably making 10 million. So why do I have to ask you for Owobe? Why do I have to ask you for money to go fix my hair? Why do I have to ask you for money to go do my nails? So she quit asking the man for that. And that became a major problem. It became a major problem because I knew then that the man took it badly. This woman didn't even understand what the problem. She just knew that the richer they became, the more issues they had in the family. And she did not understand why, when they didn't have anything, so to say, that they were at unity, they were in their best of everything. But the moment that, because it wasn't even like it was our money, it wasn't our money, it was the family's money. There was an agreement between the man and the woman that, you know what, you get out of this paid job, government job, go face the business. Of course, we'll see what we can get from government, and we'll use our connection here to be able to do this and that. So the woman opted out because the man, like I said earlier, didn't want to opt out. He was afraid that what if he failed? He would not be able to meet his obligations in the family. So the woman chose to opt out, and she felt like worst case scenario, if they didn't make it, she would be the one to, it was okay for her to be the one to ask for but ironically, to the glory of God, like I said, she made it big in the business. She made it for the family, that the family now could buy anything they wanted. They had access to so many, life was better for them, so to say. And at that point, that was actually where the problem started. She felt, hi Tunde, how are you? She felt that because she didn't want to ask the man for anything again, and she didn't think it was necessary. Here was a woman that was controlling the family's millions. Please don't get me wrong. She wasn't controlling that the man didn't have access to it. No. Don't also forget that Nike, how are you? Good morning is there, but good afternoon in Nigeria. But she wasn't. Adewumi Ade, afternoon, and how are you too? You also, I thank you all for following me. Dari Adeleke, how are you? Yeah, I see that you're with me, and love from London. Okay, love from Georgia too to you. Thank you for being there. Now, she did not make the money like it was for her or I alone. No, she made this money for the family. The husband had access to it. Whatever he wanted to do with money, he could do. The only problem now was that the woman did not know that she was still supposed to always ask him for owo obe, owo orun, owo ata, owo gbale. She didn't know. She just felt that because she had, Chris Onyishi, with love from me in Atlanta to you in Nigeria. I hope that's okay now. Thank you for joining. Funke Ogunkoya, I see you. Oye, Olale Yawoshika, Tunde Adeleke, Yomi Ologunde, Folake, Akimu Ishiton. I hope I got it right. I don't want to be, I hate to butcher people's name. And Shegun Oyedeji Bishops, I thank you all for being there for me. Thank you for watching. Now, like I was saying, the problem now was that she didn't realize it was a problem. She thought she didn't need to bother the man again. She thought that it was okay for her not to ask him for money for anything again, because don't forget that I said she was making this money for the family. She wasn't making it for herself. She never behaved like the money was hers. No. The money was for the family, and it was based on that she related and did everything that she did. So, I'm sorry, Ola. My name is Ola Leye, not Ola Yele. Oh, I'm sorry. Your name is Ola Yele. I apologize for calling you Ola Leye. Ola Yele, thank you for joining me. Chris says I should go back so I don't lose track. All right. So, at the point that she was no longer asking the man for money, the man started reacting in the house, which is my question to you gentlemen this morning and afternoon in Nigeria. What about the scenario? I mean, the story I just told you is the true life one. The couple are alive, and that was an issue in the marriage. The lady felt that since she had enough money, it didn't make sense to her to always run back to the man to ask him for money for anything. But the man felt, no, apparently the man felt, no, that was not right. It was like she took, I don't want to put words into your mouth. That's why I want to put these questions to the men, that how was that supposed to be a problem? Why wasn't the man happy that there was a woman that wasn't even bothering him again because there was access to the money? What does it do to you guys? I mean, how does that, how did the woman's behavior, so to say, she wasn't haughty, she wasn't proud, she wasn't arrogant, please get that clear. The only thing she just felt and did was that I don't have to ask this man for anything again. God has blessed us. And she did not ask, but she would just take from the money that she was managing to run the house, to run her life, to buy things for herself. In fact, if she bought anything for herself, she would show the man, oh, I bought this thing today, or I did that thing today. And the man would just look at it and grunt. She did not understand that the man was not happy. Don't forget that the man was still also in the ministry, still doing his work. But the man was not happy that she was not asking him for anything again. Gentlemen, how does that pan out? Let's come up with something. Best Born, I'm glad you are not late today. And thank you for having you here. How, gentlemen, please, I don't know, help me to understand, help other women to understand how that was a problem. How not asking for money because she felt she had enough and didn't think to bother him was a problem. Because, you see, families, relationships are killed and messed up because of little things like this. This story I told you, if I tell you what happened, the man just started going out with real low cater girls that would kneel down, genuflect for him, you know, the sa. I don't, so of course I see a pattern there. I honestly know what he wanted and how he was, but it's like I do not understand how the male will think that helping was now a challenge or a problem. So gentlemen, how do you view that? And I said, bear in mind, this woman was not arrogant at all. She didn't make it that it was my money. She didn't say, oh no, you can't touch anything. No, but she was just the one that was in charge of the business, and God blessed them. Let me see what comments that I have so far. Tewo Sholanke says it's lack of communication. Okay, how do you mean? Are you saying you think that the wife should have said, oh, I am using this money because I... Don't forget that these people have been married for years. We're talking of something that was over like 10 years. So it's not as if they just married and they took that decision. They've been together for years. And they took, of course, they took that decision together. So should the woman, was it the woman that you think is not communicating or did not communicate, or is it the man that did not say, oh, you don't ask me for these things again and I don't like it? Or you think it's the woman that is not saying, oh, I am doing this for, I don't, if you can expatiate on that, I'll appreciate it. Best One is saying the man has complex. Well, so you are saying that if you were in the man's shoes, you probably won't feel any need to be anxious or to be upset that your wife is able to stand on or by herself, so to say. Well, I don't know if other men, I don't know if the other men will see that as the man having complex or having issues, but it was a big issue in that family at that point in time. Gentlemen, what do you think of what Best Bond said? Was it a case of the man having complex or what? Chris Onyishi, you said the story did not reveal other issues. When men make money, they do not become arrogant. I did say, Chris, and I'm emphatic about it, and I am repeating it. This woman was not arrogant about it. She made the money not for herself. It was made for the family. The agreement, she didn't have any issue with her spouse before she went. They agreed. In fact, the man, left alone to her, she didn't mind that the man should be the one to go into the business. But men being, or the man being what he is, don't let me generalize now so I don't run into the same problem that you probably are running into now. But maybe because the man felt that what if the business failed? He didn't want a situation that he would have left service, left the opportunities he has for that to come up. So the woman was not arrogant, she was not haughty. The man had access, they were both signatories to all the accounts. So it wasn't like the woman was proud or anything about it. So get that clear. No, the woman was not in any way proud about the situation. Ola, okay, Best Bond is saying it's more of a psychological. Okay, let me finish what Chris said. I think I just had to clear the hair on that. You said some women most often get arrogant when they have good money and they can pick some bills independently. how will we always ever explain to you that we are not arrogant because we now have money? We are not arrogant because we can pick these bills. We think, or personally now, speaking for women and as a woman, most men just assume that we will be arrogant. And then most men, even the things that they were not doing to us proud. For instance, someone that would ordinarily, okay, this is America, ordinarily you will go into your kitchen to put your food together after perhaps the woman has cooked. But because suddenly, okay, fine, let's assume that I finish my nursing course and then I get a job and then I earn triple whatever it is I'm earning now. The man, just for the fun of it, wants to pull me down and say, oh yeah, go and make my food. I'm just coming from a 12-hour shift. It's got nothing to do with arrogance. When I was a CNA, you happily went to the kitchen to get your food. So why should you, because I am now a registered nurse, now want me to go and get it? And the woman would wonder, in fact, the woman would think the man is absolutely insensitive. I have used that as an example because of what you said. This is not even the case with this couple. With this couple, the woman was not arrogant. Take it from me. The man just didn't like the idea that the woman was not asking her for money to do her hair, to buy food in the house and things like that again. And the woman did not do it because she felt in her heart that she had access, she had more money. She had access to more money. And she did not understand. Hypothetically, let's even assume the man was on 100,000 at that point in time, a month. And this woman was making 5 million a month. It didn't make sense to her that she had to still go to this man to ask him for money for soup. That's the point I'm making. And that's where that misconception or whatever came up. That's the issue here. Best Bond says a very insecure and egocentric fellow. Maybe egocentric, I can agree somewhat, but that insecurity, what caused it? It's different if the woman was acting up and being rude and things like that. Here was a woman that wasn't doing any such thing. She was a woman with her head screwed on her neck properly. But the man still had the issue of her not ever asking him for anything, and was a problem in the family. Olayele again says, as always, I have always said that the men can give you everything, but you must know that man's ego must always be protected. Men are wired to be in control, and any attempt for the man to feel threatened, that he is no more in charge, he will react. Okay, so it was basically more of like, he didn't think he was in charge again because the woman wasn't asking him for things. Now, ladies, I hope you hear that. Here you are thinking, don't let me disturb this man. After all, I have access to more money. A lot of us make this mistake, even though we may not know. We would think in our hearts, we're doing this man a favor, or we're doing this man favors. We don't want to ask because we'll just think, why should I ask him if I have it? But here is what they're saying. We are taking their ego. We don't let them be in control again. I'm a victim of this thing I'm talking about. I would just do things and think, I have the money, I have the money, I have the money. And I would just go ahead and do it. But like that, my person that I spoke about, it took me a long time to understand that it wasn't something that the man liked. It wasn't something that he thought was good. Meanwhile, in my heart, I thought I was doing a favor. So a lot of women need to understand this. They need to know that. They need to understand that while you think you're helping, you're actually not helping. If anything else, you are hurting him by not asking. It's funny, it's ironic, but that's the reality of it. Then Chris, I think Olayele, sorry, continues and says, even though they are married for years, the man in that union is the head and must be seen as the head. I don't think this person contested the head, but I'll just let that slide. Because like I said, she didn't argue anything with him. She just thought that she was like doing a favor, and that was it. Anyone that says, okay, you said, sorry, even though they are married for years, the man in that union is the head and must be seen as the head. it's not about being, okay, it's not about having complex. Let me put it at that. I'm not going to read that last phrase. No, because it's disrespectful. So let's just drop it. I won't be the one to read it. Others can read it off your comment. Funshaw says, of course the woman was right. And if I were the man, I would scold her if she asked me for money, when there is a joint account somewhere for her to access. The man is just a bush. Oh, look at this Ondo man looking for my trouble this morning. Bush Ekiti man. Excuse me. Ironically, the man in question is a Lagos man, while the woman in question is Ekiti. Look at your life. That is our problem in Ekiti. We are too nice, we are too kind, we are too helpful. We help our men, unlike the Lagos woman or Ijebu woman that would have 1 million, and from the husband's 100,000, she will still collect 40,000 and say there is no money for this or that. See our lives now. Because we are helping you, you are abusing us. Okay now. Well, that's not right. This woman is Ekiti, and ironically the man is Lagos. I'm serious. And I'll get you back though, Ondo man. Tewasholanke, you say men sometimes feel less than when they are unable to provide for family. It's always best to discuss family concerns and come to an understanding communication. Yes, the family, don't forget that I said this couple discussed and they decided that it was the wife that should go and do the business. Maybe what they didn't discuss was what to do with the money after they make it. In the sense that, okay, I will still continue to give you money. I will not continue to give you money. Maybe they didn't discuss that. So maybe that's where the communication thing, like you said, has come up. Maybe if they discussed it, maybe they won't be in that situation. I don't think they did. I don't know what they did, but I just knew that it was a problem for the mere fact that the woman was not asking the man for anything again. It was a big problem. Olayele again, you say, even though she was not arrogant, the man is threatening already. No doubt. So she must ask God for wisdom to deal with that issue. The issue is gone past all asking for wisdom. More things happened that a lot of things happened. You know, the man had other women make children and things like that. So it was just like I said, the man just went real low class. That's where I agree and I understand that it was an ego thing for him. He went to the kind of class of people that would always look up to him, that would always ask him for something, that would always, you see the way I'm emphasizing on the always. The man didn't go like at the level of his wife or people that were above as status. No, he just went, you know, down, real down to pick the women that, you know, he had these relationships and affairs and so on with. So no doubt I know that was an ego thing for the man. No doubt. I mean, that was just, but what I just don't understand is that it wasn't like the woman just went into business by herself. They decided, they agreed, they discussed it. So why should it be an ego thing for him? That I don't understand. And honestly, up till tomorrow, I find it difficult to understand that. Mienka, how are you? What is Kunle Akinkude saying? Ani phone up when I can see you. Hi, and how are you? He said, in this day and age, there should be a budget and money spent already agreed to. Okay, you're saying that. It's still, well, I would put that under communication. That means you're saying that the couple should have decided what to do with what money and what not to do with what money. Maybe they should have. Maybe if they had sat down as a couple and discussed all of these things, maybe they wouldn't have fallen into the kind of whatever that they fell into. But like I said, the woman thought she was doing this man a favor by not asking because she had access to so much money. And it wasn't like she was being frivolous or anything with the money, no. But she just felt that if I have this much, why should I come to you and ask you for Uobe? Or why should I come to you and ask you for Ata or Uoru? But that was the issue. I think at some point in time, the thing came up and it became an issue. And so she learned to, if she wanted to do her hair or her nails, she would go to him and say, I want to go fix my hair and I would need some money. And the man would now take from his wallet and give her. I don't understand that. I wish I did. That's what I'm struggling with. At some point, they discussed it because it was a big issue. And then at some point, they discussed it. And at some point, the woman knew that, because people that say, okay, if that is what you want to, you also do it. The fact that you have access to that much money does not mean you should not. If he says he wants you to ask him, then please ask him. So They got to that point, and if she wanted to go fix her hair or her nails or something, she's going to a party, she will go to him and say, I'm going to this party, would you give me some money to spend there? But this was a woman that had so much money, so I don't understand that. I mean, well, not even that she had access. Don't let me say she had so much money. It was the family's money. It wasn't her money as one person. She was working for her family. It was her family's money. Chris, what did you say again? You said, but I did say some women. Oh, okay, well, it has to be some women. It can't be all women. Juma, I see you. Lara, how are you? Chris also says, then if all these are true of this particular woman, then this particular man has a complex thing. Are both of them educated? Yes, both of them are educated. Has education got anything to do with the ego of the man? What has education got to do with it? If a man that just feels his ego is being eroded would react like any illiterate would react, I don't think it's got anything to do with education. I think it's just the man, he didn't like it, he didn't appreciate it, and he reacted badly to it. That was basically what happened. Kunle Odushola Stevenson, hi, and how are you? Thank you for joining. I hope the women, because the key thing for me doing this is that somebody is able to pick something or learn something. There are women or couples, partners that probably are going through this problem. They are wondering why the man does not appreciate what they're doing. In their own cases, in their own instances, the issue is not even a function of the family going into some business. It's a clear-cut case of the woman being a little bit more financially buoyant than the man, and because of that, he's not selfish. He's an Ekiti woman, like Funsho said, the bush horse, very supportive. But the man does not see it that way. The man thinks you are taking over his responsibility, his role as the head of the house, and does not like it. So for the women that are in their heart of heart and heads thinking they're helping their men, I think you need to sit down and discuss, like people have said, communicate it. Okay, this is what I earn. I earn this much. What do you want me to do? But you see, it's so funny again to me, I must confess. Why should I work? Why should I? And then I still have to say, what do you want me to do with this money? Okay, maybe I shouldn't. Don't put it that way. What should we do with this money? You would also bring his own resources, so to say. So it seems like it's a collective thing, it's a family thing. But I find that very strange. A situation whereby I'm working and I still have to say, so what do you want me to do with this? I don't know. The women in our climb, we have this ayetawa that is so like all just servitude to men. But I guess it is our cross. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to come to the end of this today. Thank you, Adeshida Loko. Olola Isiak, how are you? Thank you for watching. Ola Yele, you say again, I know a couple who had the same problem. The woman had to give the man a salary. Yeah, and it's happened a few times that the woman would just practically have to say, okay, this is what I earn, just to be at peace. But I don't understand it. And I know a lot of people are going through it, because of course, you know, we discuss and we talk about these things, and we know, because you will think that, like I said, you will think you are helping this man. Oh, by the way I did this, or by the way I paid the school, or by the way I did that. One thing I have also, I learned from that woman's experience years back that let me say I didn't learn years back. I still fell into it, still thinking I should help. But the woman should try real hard not to do it. If you have, like I said, if you have $1 million, a lot of the Nigerian women these days even keep their $1 million. They will not tell the man they have the $1 million. So they will still collect from him, and that's the truth. But again, you see, I think it's just from the experiences of people like some of us that you really have put into it, and at the end of the day, you just wonder what you did wrong. But the ideal thing is for the woman to lay bare, or for a couple to lay bare their financial status. Couples are supposed to lay bare their finances. That's the only way you can plan together, do things together. You know what wants to go into some housing project. You know what wants to go into your trip abroad or whatever for vacation. You actually are able to decide what goes where. But when you don't do that, this is the kind of thing that happens. A lot of women don't do that now. They hide their money. They hide so many things. Some would even build houses and the man would never know. I don't know how a woman can buy a plot of land, do what's that one they first do, foundation, build on it, roof it, paint it, do everything, and the man would not know. My mouth, I would tell. So when I see women like that, I'm always afraid of that. For you to do that and not tell, that's not me. I will tell Sha. At some point I will say, cement is too expensive, and then they will say, cement for what? And I will say, sorry, I forgot to tell you I'm building a house. Can you imagine that? Thank you all for being with me today. Thank you, sir, uncle, Mr. Alaji. I want to assume, don't let me say Mr. Alaji Ololaisi Akoyewale Ogunje Mbola. I thank you for the words of encouragement, and I can assure you that people like you who watch and who say these things are my elixir. You are the ones that keep me going, and that makes me want to do even more of this. This is just my time that I'm throwing out. I gain nothing financial from this, but I have a lot of joy in my heart that, you know, when I talk about these things, I have a bunch of people, 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, even much more, many more than that, come back and say, guess what? You know, you just spoke my situation, or you just spoke what I am going through and things like that. So I'm happy that at least somebody is speaking out. From our climb, the truth of the matter is women hardly speak out. They hardly say what's on their minds, because we are not, we have been confined not to so do. And that really has a bunch of negativities on these women, which is really why I do a lot of talking, especially about these issues, things I've experienced, things I know that people are experiencing or have experienced, with a view to at least getting somebody to understand that, one, you are not going through this alone. Two, this is how people have resolved, so to say, or this is how people have been able to handle their situation. And three, you know, you learn from others. For instance, I don't go out, I don't have friends that I go visiting or talking with and so on. But from my interaction with people that I've met online, there are things I used to do or that I would do or say that people will say, no, Joey, that is not right. And before that, I didn't even think or feel that it wasn't so right. Like the post I put up on my wall about some guy that said that I was like hypocritical, that he's read some of my hypocritical comments that I put up. Like, I thought I wasn't any hypocritical and I was a straightforward person, blunt and so on. So, I mean, we discussed this morning and he said, why did you do that? That was a private conversation. I said, but I told you I was going to put it out because that was a light of me that I did not understand. And I thought, okay, if this guy sees me like one hypocrite, does every other person think this is me? That was actually why I threw that out, so that I can get others feelers. And your mission, you can't say that, wait a minute, your point of view does not have to be everybody's point of view, which I understand and which I acknowledge. So when I do these things, I do them so that we can have a diverse opinion, advice, words, comments from others, so that whoever is in that situation is able to learn something off of it. Chris, before I round off, let me just quickly read some of these comments. You say, I know of a family where a woman makes more money, and when they want to pay rent, the man gives the man to pay. Of course, that's a different thing entirely. And if I may add, this couple I was talking about were living in their own house, so there was no issue of them paying rent to anybody. I mean, there's no big deal in that. I would think if the couple is united, if they are together, there's no reason for the woman to make everybody know that. Even if everybody knows you are the one making all the money, there's really no reason or no justification for the woman to want to throw it in everybody's face that yes, I'm making the money. Best Bond says, personally, I would love to split the bills, thinking things like foodstuff and household groceries can be taken out by my spouse. Rent and so on and things like that will be your responsibility. But wait a minute, aren't you supposed to feed your family? You're supposed to feed your family. And if you're supposed to feed your family, you're supposed to give your wife money to feed your family. So don't split the bill. I don't believe in splitting bills. I think these things should just be done from, that's my opinion. No, please. Of course, I can't load it on anybody, and I'm not even trying. But I just feel that these things should be done from a purse. When you do these things from a purse, it helps. If you say she should just do food, and then a year after, she's making 3 times what you are making, what are you now going to do? Okay, turn it around, or don't do food again, come and do cars. That's why I think it should be done from a joint purse. When you do it from a joint purse, there's this feeling of comradeship that you both have, that it's a joint thing. The TV is our TV, the house is our house, the food is our food. That's what I would think and I would do if I remarry. I wouldn't want to split those things because I think splitting does not go well most times. Laika Eve, I hope I got that right. Thank you for being here. And you say African men are biologically wired to be at the giving end, even if they do so grudgingly. The minute the tables are turned, resentment bubbles up, even if unjustified. Thank you, girlfriend, for that comment. It's a truth, it's a fact that many of us have lived with. The African man is wired to give. They want to do it. And the moment they cannot do it, usually it becomes a big problem. It becomes an issue. But we are saying that most of the time, the women really honestly are not competing, so to say. Some may be competing or some may be funny with their monies and so on. But I'm telling you that most women just feel that if I have, why can't I do or why shouldn't I do? Not because they're in competition with you, but because they want to compliment you. Adeshida Loco, you says giving should always be from the heart without pretending. The issue of even giving here does not even come up because there is a couple that they were supposed to just do these things together. Let me quickly run all these comments because I really have to leave now. Adeshida Loco says continues in as much that life differs on so many things, it's good to always take responsibilities for things you deem fit. Yes, we know that taking responsibility. The money is the family's money. The man is upset that the wife is not asking him for money from his own pocket again, not from the business money she's making for the family. That was the issue. Tewashola and K, you say simple, it's ego, self-esteem, control, or some other issues that may have been avoided during their discussion. Possibly. Olayele, no, thank you for watching. Olayele, you say, I'm not sure the man will desire getting so petty as to desire. I'm serious. He just wanted the woman to ask for. And at that point in time, at some point in time of my life, I also used that. No, I mean, if I was with anyone, I would say, won't you give me money to go and do my hair? Won't you give me... But it's so funny. Now, some men will complain that, I don't want a woman that will be asking me for money for hair, for this and that. I want a woman that can stand on her own. But again, you also have another man that is upset that you're not asking him for these things. So it's like, I guess you have to just understand your man and balance it out, ladies. Because the key thing really is for us to have successful relationships. Kenny Brandmus, how you doing, honey? And how is wherever you are today? Thank you for watching me. Kenny, what's your opinion on the subject of discuss today? Your woman is making money for the family, has more money than you both had prior, and therefore wasn't asking you for money for anything again. Would you be upset that she's not asking you for money for anything again, or would you live by the day and just take it that, well, since she has access to money, it shouldn't be a problem? Your opinion is I would like your opinion on that subject. Tewashola also says he feels that he's losing control. No doubt, I think so. Antosin Obembe, how are you? Bisi Olatunde, the man must accept his faith and be very supportive with the wife, since the woman is far better than him. Well, I don't know who's better. Auntie Doyin Olatunde, thank you for watching. Bisi Olatunde, Abisola, thank you. Oluwaseun McLawrence, you says the network is a bit fair today. We thank God. Chris Onyushi says again, a good woman tries to make a king out of his man, even though she's making all the money. Okay, we know that and we strive. Just give us some credit. Tewashola says again, the woman is not far better than him. Remember, that's the problem. The woman is not far better than him. I don't understand that comment. I don't understand that comment, but Adeshida, thank you. Adeshida Local, thank you very much for supporting me. Everybody that has been come on here this morning, afternoon, depending on where you are in the world, I appreciate you all. I thank you for coming. Let's continue this via chat, like we always do on Facebook. Let's bear our minds. Be rest assured that people are reading these things and they're tapping from there. They are benefiting from these things. Thank you, Chris, and bye-bye. They are benefiting from these things. They come on and they read and some listen and they go like, but some even come in box and start arguing with me and I say, go and put it back there. It's not for me alone to know. It's for people to know. When we throw these things, I have learned a lot from people and I know people continue to learn from all of these things. We are helping each other to make our lives better. I thank you all for being with me this morning. I appreciate you all. Good in the afternoon in Nigeria. I thank you for 40 minutes of your time. This has been longer than usual. Usually I want to keep it at 30 minutes, but we've just gone on and on and on because the comments have been coming, and this is really, I like the interaction. It's good. People, I mean, when we interact, it makes for better communication, and of course people learn off of that than just to have me do all the talking and people aren't saying anything. I am flattered. I appreciate you all. As always, you know I come on Wednesdays and Thursdays, 8 a.m. mic time, 1 p.m. Nigerian time. I always use Nigerian time because it's easier for everybody in the world to find out what time is 1 o'clock back home, since I'm of the opinion that only Nigerians possibly watch me anyway. So I thank you all for always coming on to spend your time with me, to spend your money buying data. It's gratifying that people are doing this. You don't have to do it. I appreciate everybody that is doing this. Many are still going to watch this. I thank you all that you are still going to watch this. And if you have anything you want me to talk about, if you're shy, you don't want to bring it out, or you can't bring it up yourself, send me a message. Let's agree to talk. I'm all ears. I listen. I would ask you questions, of course, just to be sure to get my story straight, and I'll be more than glad to bring this up bring this up on some other edition of the podcast. For everybody that is encouraging me on, thank you all very much. God will always have hands, so to say, in everything that you do. I appreciate you all. I remain Doyinsola Ajoke Adeilori. Thank you very much, and God bless. Bye-bye.